All right, morning everyone. Welcome to another episode of Market Trading. I am your host, Tone Vays. Give me 1 second. I think someone just literally knocked on my door just as I did this. So we're going to turn the chart on, and I'll be right back. Put a short-term chart on, and I'll be back in 30 seconds. Oh, wow. Look at that MRI top. Oh, sorry, MRI buy on the 4-hour. But literally give me all right, we are back. All right, I am overseeing a bit of a contracting project while I have a free place to crash now that I'm officially homeless. So let's get to the charts. There may be some other disruptions. That's why I couldn't do a stream yesterday. It was super busy. Figured better to do a broken up stream than no stream at all. So since I have the 4-hour chart up already, let's just review that. Man, yesterday was a bit of a disaster, but right here, I am very, very hopeful. The 4-hour charts have actually been very good when it comes to TA. Granted, this green star candle did not work out very well, but the green star did appear at the beginning of the candle. So during the 4 hours, it certainly worked out, but it was not able to muster any follow through. I mean, in $500 in 4 hours, that's not bad, even for a $30,000 asset. So here we are on a 4-hour MRI buy. We've had two 4-hour MRI sells. They worked out as planned. Both pulled the price back. The first one more of a consolidation. The second one certainly pulled us back. We had an MRI warning reversal on a beautiful reversal candle. And here we are again on an actual MRI buy. Did I just delete the MRI indicator? That was smart, Tone. No, I managed to move it to the CMF. How the hell did I do that? Huh, I did not know you can do that. You can take an indicator like the moving averages, and you can drag them. Oh, wait. Nope, can't do it with the moving averages. And you can, how the hell did I do that? I clicked on the indicator, and then I moved it. Wow. I put the MRI indicator on the CMF chart. That was crazy. I didn't know you could even do that. Okay, I can't repeat what I did. That was kind of funny. Oh, to me it was. So the 4-hour chart looks like it's ready for a bounce. How strong of a bounce? Well, we don't know. At least 1 to 4 candles. I think we can get up into this area. This is also the underside of prior support, which creates very good resistance. So unfortunately, this does tend to lead to more downside than after. And let's see if we can hold and break above this line. Not a great looking chart, but at least there's hope that today is going to be a bit bullish. Let's move up. Let's glance at the 1-hour chart. Let's see what happened there a few hours ago. Might have been some 8:30 announcement. There's definitely announcements, economic announcements at 8:30 in the morning. Let me see if anything was announced at 8:30 in the morning this morning. So this morning at 8:30, where are we here? Today is Thursday. 8:30 in the morning, we got the initial claims. How did those go? Okay, so there were more unemployed people. There were more initial claims than anticipated. So that means unemployment is going to rise, which is something the Fed has been trying to do. They were trying to get more people fired. And that seems to be bullish for the markets. More unemployed people is bullish for the markets. We are living in a clown world. So this is totally normal. More people lose their jobs is bullish for the market because it means that people will be able to buy less shit, which means that prices will be forced to come down because people can't pay for the stuff. And that means inflation could come down, and the Fed's happy because their job is to lower inflation. Homes, no, that came in at 10 a.m., but the market reversed around 8:30. So it had to do with the initial claims. Maybe the Philadelphia Fed index, which really underperformed. Wow. But I don't think it was that. It's probably the initial claims. Since we're talking about the Fed, we can review. Yep, 86% certainty that in 10 days, they are going to raise interest rates by another quarter basis point. Crazy, right? But it's coming. Well, we can dive in. I can actually see if it was. Look at this. It got rejected by the MRI resistance line again. But a few days ago, this little candle closed above that resistance line. I do need to look at this on the cash index. This is way too close to call. I'm going to pull up the daily chart on the cash index and see what's going on there. But before I do that, I want to go to a 5-minute chart, and I want to see if the drop came at 8:30 in the morning. No, not really. Yeah, actually right there. Yeah. The 8:30 in the morning announcement, which took place right here, did drop us, but we were already rising and we continued to rise. So the stock market is actually up. Is it up? It's down. So that's weird. So the stock market has, let's go to a 10-minute chart. So the stock market has been rising since 8 in the morning, but it crashed late last night. What am I missing here? Oh, this is middle of the night. Okay. It crashed in the middle of the night, which is weird, right? It crashed at 3 in the morning. That doesn't normally happen. Markets don't usually crash in the middle of the night. So what happened in Europe at the open? Something happened in Europe, right? So 3 o'clock in the morning here. I mean, Germany is the only country that really matters. So what the hell happened in Germany at their market open? Interesting. North Carolina passed a bill keeping trans athletes from competing in women's sports. Great. Great. Good job, North Carolina. I'm one of those crazy people that think that women athletics should be performed by women. I know, it's insane. Completely insane. Completely insane. Bitfarms at risk of being delisted if it can't hold $1. That seems strange. I need to look into that. So something happened in Germany. I don't know if I want to Google for it. Well, we'll find out. Maybe somebody knows. Germany is done. No, we know they're done. They shut down their last nuclear reactor. They're going to cut down every single tree because they need, heat next winter. So there'll be no more trees in Germany. The Green Party, which shut down the nuclear power, they're going to get their wish. They're going to destroy the planet like they're trying to do with their green agenda. Their green agenda means you destroy the planet, you kill off all the human beings, and then the planet will regenerate itself and live great again. That is the plan of the green agenda of Germany. They're actually on a mission to kill people. Austria doesn't really matter. Sorry. Sorry if you're from Austria. France thinks they matter, but they don't. And it's just Germany and somewhat the UK. The UK thinks they matter more than they do, but Germany still matters, right? But Germany is driving the crazy bus on the green agenda. Okay, so what happens to our allocation? Our allocation is still not in any jeopardy yet, but we are paying attention to it. If next candle is fully trading below both moving averages, and the moving averages are starting to cross, I am going to cut back on my 100% bullish position. I was hoping this can make it to 34K, and we may reverse right here and still make it to 34K. But we'll see. So the UK did a very, very smart thing by exiting the EU sinking ship. The problem is that all the people in charge of the UK are not actually on board by getting away from the EU sinking ship, and that's the problem. So the people in the UK want to get the hell out of European laws and telling the UK what to do. They want to write their own laws. But the people running the UK want nothing to do with independence out of the EU, which is creating a major problem for the UK. Like the UK is not, I mean, they're joining like Japanese like trade unions, right? Because they want like cheap goods coming in and out. So anyway, the problem with the UK is that people voted for something that the politicians have zero ability nor desire to implement. So the UK actually ended up putting itself in a shittier position by exiting the EU sinking ship without any captains or lieutenants or sergeants wanting to drive that ship away from the EU, away from the EU Titanic. So the UK is actually fucked. Is another way of saying it. So it's time to pay attention to our 100% bullish position. But for now, we're keeping it sailing. Before I go on, guys, the Financial Summit, where we talk all things finance, investing, trading, will take place in the UAE, November 5 to 10. It's an incredible event with the price of Bitcoin rising. People should be interested in coming. Those of you that are more interested in Bitcoin should join us in Las Vegas for Unconfiscatable, taking place a month later, December 7 and 8. Next week, I'm going to release the next video, our testimonial video. It is about 17 minutes. I'm going to try to watch it on 1.5 speed here on this channel because it's a really, really cool video. Let's go to the daily chart. So the daily chart is in full-blown, well, not full-blown, but the daily chart has flipped to be bearish. How do I know this? Well, we have the MRI red star candle, which indicates that a bearish trade is incoming. Now, these don't always work. You can see right here, green star didn't amount to much upside. Green star didn't amount to much upside. Red star didn't amount to much downside. We're in a consolidation mode, right? So it's kind of like, I'm going to stick with analogies here, right? Like, to make it to the Hall of Fame in baseball, you just got to get on base once every third at bat, right? I mean, you don't have to get on a base every time. 1 out of 3. You got to get a hit 1 out of 3 at bats, right? For your entire career, and you will make it to the Hall of Fame if you're always getting if you're getting on base once out of every 3 times, right? Because they'll keep you in the league for 20 years. You'll keep getting a contract as long as you're hitting that ball and not getting out once every 3 times. You'll make it to the Hall of Fame in baseball. So here we are, lost a little bit, lost a little bit, lost a little bit, boom, made money. Boom, we'll see. Now it's bearish. Okay. Bearish now. So we're sitting at support, but this is very weak support. At this point, I am mentally fully prepared for a move down below 27,000. Below 27,000 is very, very likely. I'd give that a greater than a 50% chance, slightly greater, like a 55% chance. But I don't really want to see us go further. I mean, if we go down here, it's okay. It's not the end of the world if we go all the way to 25K, but I don't want to see us go below 25K. If we look at the oscillators, it's really good that the funding rate remains so depressed. People just don't believe in the upside. We had just, a couple of days here, and that's it. So this is good. This is actually long-term very bullish. I like the RSI. If the RSI can actually make it all the way down, if the RSI can make it all the way down to oversold without endangering the price too much, that's great. The RSI is looking good. The MACD is also bearish. And the CMF has gone bearish. So everything is actually bearish on a daily chart. And that is why I am pretty much ready for a move down to 27 and maybe even 25. This is our 1 hour chart. We already looked at that. The 4 hour chart looks a lot cleaner for a stronger bounce. Well, GBTC discount is still struggling because we never really had a big move up in price. This is oil. Oil is closing the gap, which is interesting. Is today Thursday? Did we get another number? Let's see how the junkie's doing. Let's see if the junkie needed his fix. Let's find out. Let's find out together how the junkie's doing. Yep, there it is. There it is. It needed a fix. Needed a 2 million barrel fix. Boom. Man, the Democrats. I applaud you. I applaud you in taking down the strategic oil reserve to 0 in preparation for a Republican president, to leave him with no choice but to increase oil prices on the consumers. It's an amazing strategy. It really is. I mean, completely destroying the strategic oil reserve, whose #1 priority is a military strategic oil reserve, or natural disaster. I mean, this should only be used for natural disasters or military defense, real defense, not going to Vietnam. Real military defense and natural disaster, like a Katrina, like a Sandy, like Hurricane Andrew down in like Florida. It's meant to be for these kinds of things. But the Democrats are using it for political purposes to lower the price at the pump. And it's a great political strategy. It's absolutely brilliant. But it is dangerous, but it's brilliant. Man, you know, I wish I was more of a history student when I was in like high school and college. So I never took any history in college. And in high school, it was actually my worst subject. It was up there. Uh, it was up there as one of my worst subjects, that along with English for obvious reasons. And music. Though those are my three worst subjects in high school. I was a DJ later on in college, but that's different kind of music. The ability to sing or play a musical instrument is probably the worst thing I can possibly do. And then English and then history. So I was never a good history student. I became more of a student of history more recently. And I will say that I think I'm living through the worst presidential administration in American history. The worst in American history. Going back in history, I would say prior to this, in my readings, probably the worst one prior to this one. I mean, I'm not going to go into the 1800s. Let's stick with the 1900s. Probably FDR, who of course had 3 terms, not surprisingly. The next, Biden can have 3 terms. It's possible. They could suspend the election because of war. We'll see. Biden or Kamala will take over, and then we'll get her for 2 terms. It's like the same extension of the same nightmare. FDR was definitely one of the worst presidents in American history. Biden's worse though. Bush was terrible as well. All right. Where are we here? Let's see how natural gas is doing. So, okay, so I have to explain these arrows. These arrows have to do with when I would be buying into natural gas. If it would have gone up this far and then pulled back to the moving average. So this wasn't my prediction for natural gas. I know it's confusing, but maybe it's better that I delete these. I wasn't actually predicting that it would go up because there is nothing here in the technical analysis that, I mean, these 2 moves in natural gas caught me a little bit by surprise, even though I keep saying that natural gas is at historic lows. It got rejected by the higher moving average, and now it's back at this moving average. So I like this consolidation here, but again, I would need natural gas to put us in a bullish technical analysis view. That's the daily chart. It's not bullish yet. The weekly chart is certainly not bullish at all, even though it is coming off extension B at the low. And the monthly chart is also not bullish at all. So if we go back to the daily chart and look at the MRI, oh, I don't have the things here. Hold on. I need display higher time frame detail count. That's fine. There. The weekly is still halfway through, and the monthly is halfway through. I mean, natural gas on higher time frames is very bearish. Very, very bearish. Gold, I think gold will struggle a little bit, but ultimately I think gold's going to 3,000, as we discussed with Philb on this channel the other day. I want to look at the daily S&P. with the MRI. I want to drop everything else. Okay, so the daily MRI also broke the MRI resistance line. It broke it back here, and it broke it again here. Those are bullish signs with a daily MRI. So I think the S&P 500 is fine. We are in earnings season. This is the daily version. I know the indicators can flip over. Normally, we're on a weekly scale. We got a new high close, but we haven't gotten the new swing high yet. 1 second. Hey, I'm sorry, guys. I got to get this. Someone just came, an inspector. So I got to deal with some stuff. So we're going to leave it here. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you all.